Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We're here with another Alliance War video. This is going to be Alliance War Season 56, number 6, and AOH has matched up against NT06. And I did know one of the players from their alliance because if you remember, I think it was in War 2 or 3 when we faced AFYOK, who was the alliance that modded like most fights, if not every single fight on the map. We reported them and we put like information about their alliance in a group chat that we have for like in that group we have one member from each top alliance or two members from every top alliance and stuff like that. And he actually matched them, like they matched them the war after us, and they modded against them as well. So yeah. Anyways, we have the team today of Angela, Shocker, and Chee'Ilth. And this first fight here, this was a mistake. This is going to be Angela versus Sentinel. And the problem with this fight was not how tanky Sentinel is. The problem here was the special refund. Because there is a node here where the defender's special attacks cost half power, and the way that that interacts with personal champions who have that ability is that it stacks. It doesn't multiply, it stacks. For example, when Sasquatch is on this node and his specials cost half power, the node costs half power, you would think that it would cost 25% power, right? Because it would be half of a half. It would be 25%. But the way the game calculates it, it just stacks. So it's 50 plus 50, which is, the math does not logically make sense, but okay, man, good job. Anyways, Sentinel has the same thing. His is not, I don't think it ever gets up to 50%. I think it stops around like 40%. So his specials still cost power, but every time he throws a special 2, it's going to cost him about a fifth of a bar of power. So I'm not going to torture you with this fight. I'm going to tell you the result. I did time out to this fight, and then I went back in. I healed Angela up because I think I end this fight around like 70% health just from a couple blocked hits. And I know at one point in the fight I took a SP2 hit to the block, so I got like one incinerate on me, and that took away 20% of my health. So yeah, considering Angela was only for this fight, it was not the best idea, but I really underestimated the special refund here because, like I said, like right there, that was a nice crit. That was a 17k crit. And if I could just throw heavies like that the whole war, or sorry, the whole fight, I wouldn't have timed out. Not even close. And here we're going to go for the 2 aptitude cycle. So I was waiting till I landed a crit. Now we're going to throw it. Now we have the aptitudes copied. However, if I had to guess what percentage of this fight I spent baiting out his special 2, I would say about a third. So probably about, what's that, like a minute 40? Yeah, a minute 40 of this fight was spent just dexing special 2s. That's it. So yeah, I'm not going to show you the rest of the fight. We're going to go back to the next fight. Oh, I will show you something in the second fight right here, and that is that I had to deal with the armor ups. And if he does not throw a special while these armor ups are expiring, he goes to a special 3, and then he regens back to 100% health. So if I did not successfully bait out a special there, he would have gone back to 100%, and I would have timed out a second time. So yeah, very cool fight. I think in the future, the counter we should be sending here is, like, I'm trying to think of a DOT champion that's immune to either rupture or bleed. Probably like a Deathless She-Hulk. Probably would be really good with the Thanos synergy, because then you could just spend the whole bleed phase baiting out special attacks, and because yeah, no, that would be okay. That would work because the trauma would help you get around the armor. But yeah, Angela was not the answer, and this fight's going to go down in like just a second. So we'll go into the second fight here. We have this Wiccan on path 9 on the indestructible node, and I am going to go into this fight with Chee'Ilth. Here I was just counting my energy, and I was thinking, if I'm going to use a gray boost, where do I want it? Like, which one do I want to use? And I don't remember if I do end up using one. But the reason you can't use Shocker for this node, because it's the shock in Hazard Shift, is that in Wiccan's Sig ability, whenever he is immune to a shock effect, or whenever he attempts to shock the opponent in their shock immune, he replaces it with a degen of the same potency of that the node would inflict it as. So we are going to get a bit of shock at the start of the fight, but as soon as we get to our L2 and we land the Tranquilize, it's not going to be a problem anymore. And I honestly just wasn't paying super close attention to it because I know, yeah, a few are going to sneak through my cleanse, but I'm really not concerned because I know it's not going to come anywhere near killing me. So here, going to bait one more L1, and then we're going to go for the L2. Tranquilizes up, which means I will not be getting any more Hazard Shift on me. But as long as we don't parry here, there I parried by accident, but because Neutralize is a debuff, it did get cleansed. But yeah, at this point, mostly just trying to kill him while the Tranquilize is active, and here he is going to bleed out in the middle of this special one. So yeah, very, very straightforward fight with Chee'Ilth, and we'll go on to the next one. On our next fight here, we have another Chee'Ilth fight, and this is actually the fight that the title is about. When I was doing these fights, there was a player in the other alliance that was map watching. They watched me go into this Thanos fight, they watched me solo it, and then they messaged me and accused me of cheating for soloing the fight. So the node here is Physical Thorns. And you look at my team, maybe at first you don't see a hard counter to Physical Thorns. But then you read Chee'Ilth's Sig ability. Chee'Ilth's Sig ability is that when she is inflicted with direct physical damage, she regens a flat percentage of it. And because mine is Sig 40, you're regenning about 70% of any physical direct damage you take. And Chee'Ilth already is a really hard Thanos counter on paper. So when you include in that you are reducing the shock damage you're taking, or sorry, the thorns damage you're taking from the opponent by 30%, it just becomes an easy solo. And yeah, this is a rank 4 Deathless Thanos, but it's not going to be bad. Also, I'm going to learn something in this fight. You'll notice, okay, look, every single time I have a red number appear from Thorns, I'm also going to have a green regen accompanying it. That is Chee'Ilth's Sig ability. So right there, like I take a big burst of damage, and then it gets regen back up, 70% of it. So yeah, I did actually learn in this fight that Chee'Ilth cannot consistently heavy counter heavy Thanos if Thanos threw a light attack right before throwing the heavy, because the spacing doesn't really work out. I don't really understand why it works like that. Maybe it's a medium attack. I know it doesn't work for one of the two. I did duels of this matchup, and in about 25-ish heavy attacks, I never failed to set up the correct spacing a single time. But of course, when it happens in war, it fails, and I do lose 2 of my invuln charges. I think at one point in this fight, I am going to take another hit to the face, or maybe that was it. But yeah, Thanos is unblockable here. I could have just thrown my L1, but looks like I was just waiting to hit a parry. And then, yeah, by the time his L1 finishes right here, the unblockable is going to be gone anyway, so it didn't actually affect anything. As long as you can... Oh, there it is. Yeah, I got caught by an unblockable when I was expecting him to throw a special. And because I was nervous, I didn't dash in for the special one. But yeah, when I finished this fight, the opponent said I both didn't have a champion that could kill it, and that I took it too fast. Like, bro, I'm killing Thanos in 1:45. You think that's too fast? Like, that's just delusion. That's just straight delusion. Do you think he's the tankiest champion in the game? Because I have some news for you. He's not. Like, he's tanky and he is the protection. But DOT champions, especially ones that counter unstoppable, just shred him. So yeah, that was very, very strange. Anyways, here we have Hitmonkey. Kind of on a nothing node. I understand the point of it. The point is that after you knock down, if you try to parry, he is going to shrug it off, and then he is going to gain an energize. This dude's going to die so fast. Like, I think I'm going to throw an SP1 right here. We're going to wait out the senses, and then as soon as the senses are gone, he's just dead. He is a really small health pool. He does nothing to shrug passives. Here I'm going to bait the L1 just to be safe. I was like 99% sure that my special 2 into heavy would kill right here. And yeah, it will kill. It's going to be like way overkill. But yeah, very, very easy fight there. Like I said, Hitmonkey, small health pool, just gets destroyed by Shocker. And if you believe it, here's another fight they thought I modded. Like, bro, it's just funny at this point. This is going to be Manthing on the protection node. Shocker. This node fuels Shocker. Okay, so it's literally just a Manthing duel. As soon as I remove the protection, I'm going to deal full damage because Manthing as a champion has 0 physical resistance, 0 armor. He is incredibly vulnerable to getting shockered. And I am going to mess this fight up because I thought that I'd be able to do 600k with SP1 into SP2. Turns out I would have needed 2 SP1s, and because I misjudged it, I am going to have to go to a second special 2 in this fight. But, like, how do you just not understand how champions work and just accuse alliances of modding because of that? It's just wild. Like, right here, I should have thrown a second special 1 before the first protection. Before the first Fury went away, because then I could have comboed and gotten... excuse me. Then I could have comboed and gotten back to an L2 and then thrown it with the protection up, and that would have killed. But yeah, this L2 into heavy is not going to kill. It's going to leave him at 15%. So we are going to have to bait out a couple specials, and I think I do get poisoned once in this fight. But yeah, just a really bad fight by me. Really poor and just mismanaged fight overall. Trying to bait one more special, and I think we're going to bait it right here. And boom. Now this dude's dead. The prowess node here is really nice. It just kind of allows Shocker to take a lot of defenders on this node that he shouldn't take, because if you are in a longer fight with them, that's where it poses a problem. Manthing being a great example, because he poisons you after he throws specials with postules. But now we have the exact same fight I took last war. This is going to be a rank 3 Wolverine Weapon X on node 43. This is Hazard Shift, Incinerate, Shock. We are going to play this fight exactly the same way we did last time, because it was a perfect fight. It was a perfect fight, and I don't want to mess with that. So we're going to do the exact same. I'm going to throw in an invuln here. Yeah, wasted that invuln because I'm not going to get hit, but I don't want to die this war, so it was the safe move to do, because even this early in the war was pretty close. We're going to do the same thing. We are going to wait out the first Incinerate phase by just hitting into his block or just like dashing back and waiting. And here, because he wasn't being super aggressive, I was able to just hit into his block. I do like to hit him with a couple medium chains during the Incinerate. I'll get a couple debuffs on me, but it's not really a big deal. Here we're going to throw a special 1, then we're going to bait a special 1, and this is going to put him into, I think it's called Frenzy. I always confuse different champions, like little phases that expire. Like, I know Wrath for Sassy, but I always confuse the other ones. So here we go. Now it is done. Stun immunity is gone. We will just go for an L2. This is going to stun. Because of the prowess node, we are at our 100 charges, even though we only threw one special one. We're going to go for a full heavy just for style points. And yeah, that one did 730,000 damage because I'm using the exact same boost I did last war. So the hit damage is going to be the same. But that was it for my main account. And I think I am just going to move up to the final boss island because I have one fight on that island with my alt. But let's go over to my alt now, where we're going to have two fights that were absolutely terrifying and I thought I was going to die to. We have the team today of Hood, Mojo, and Strife. We have an 8-fight Hood war, and I am going to absolutely bottle two of the fights that should have been 45-second nukes, and I think they're each going to take about 2 minutes just because I managed them so horribly. The first one is going to be Venom. This is going to be a joke. This is on the Rage node. Venom, Hood shuts down Rage because he just nullifies the buffs. Like, it just doesn't matter. And if he were to hit Rage earlier in the fight from crits, the crit would inflict a stagger, and then it would prevent the next Fury. So even if I was hitting Rage, he just wouldn't gain the stacks. Like, right there, I staggered a Fury, and right there I did it again. So I'm hitting Rage. It just doesn't matter because I'm Hood. I just don't have to deal with it. Here I wanted to bait one special one so I could activate my invisibility. We do get the tactic unblockable for a little bit more hit damage, but if you know the way that the Strife synergy works, you just get a flat plus 50% attack while you have invisibility up. So we are going to require less bullets in this fight to kill, or in this war to kill in general. Here he threw the SP2 into my block, but it's fine because he's dead from a combo hit after. I don't know why I didn't just end that combo and kill him, but yeah, 40-second fight, really easy. We'll go up to Sersi here. This is one of the fights that's going to get scary. And the problem is the minor setback node. This defender's armor break and nullify immune. I am going to forget twice in this fight to knock down Sersi with a heavy attack before I throw my special 2. And I don't know why I forgot, because it seems like such an obvious thing. I think I'm going to start out the fight by doing it, but the nullify immunity is going to go away before I'm going to get to my special 2. It's something like that. And then here we're punishing the L2. And then here, no, okay, we do it correctly the first time actually, but here I should have heavied because now she is nullify immune. Now she is nullify immune, and I have not heavied. So this knockdown is going to disable it, but the special 2 did not get the effects on it. So now I'm about to lose all my hacks. I didn't even detonate them. They're going to do a little bit of damage, but honestly, it's like nothing. Here, our L2 is not going to nullify because I threw it while they have glancing up. I knew that doesn't work. I guess I was just absolutely losing my mind in this fight, and I'm kind of panicking. I'm like, yo, this fight's going really badly. And I don't know if I get, yeah, I do get pushed to special 3. I eat a special 1 to the face. At this point, I'm like, oh shit, I am at half health, right? Here I'm gonna knock down, disable the immunity, and go for my special 3. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna do some good damage. You have invisibility up. It's going to inflict a pretty potent bleed. You just have to hit her like one combo and then heavy, and the fight's over. She is annoying. She throws that special, and she dexes out of my counter. So not the greatest thing in the world to happen. Here we're just going to dash back and wait for our invisibility to come back. We might actually hit her with a heavy first. No, we probably should have hit her with a heavy first, but it's fine. She is going to go down here, but dude, that fight was terrifying. And if I just managed the node properly, that would have been a 45-second nuke. It should have been the same duration as the first fight, but because I just did things in the wrong order basically the whole fight, it really complicated it. It really made it just a lot harder than it needed to be. So next, we are on path 9. We have Aarkus on the first node. This is just a hazard shift path. Neither of the defenders are resistant to hood in any way. Like, they're both going to get hooded pretty easily. So we're going to go for an SP1 boost. This is not the only hazard shift fights we're taking in this war. I also have a node 45 Maestro with Hood. But Aarkus is going to be pretty straightforward. We did lower our MD for this war, obviously, because we were fighting like buff heavy mystics on, or buff heavy cosmics on the first section. Here we're going to get to our L2 in time, and now hazard shift is being reduced. We don't get many power steals. We only get, oh, I think that was 2. I thought we only got 1. But yeah, we're going to go for an L2, and then here I think we're going to go into a heavy, and it's going to finish it off. Boom. Yeah, nice. That was what, 25 seconds? 27 seconds. I'm happy with that, considering that was a rank 3 7-star we just nuked. But Misty Knight on the next node. She is tactic again. The only thing we have to worry about in this fight is going to be the evade. So we are going to watch out for it. But, of course, we are going to be reducing the ability accuracy of the evade anyways. So whatever chance it is, it's actually only 35% of that to kill. Or to trigger. So if it's like 6%, it's going to be like a 2% chance to evade. So it's not, she's not going to evade a single time in this fight. It's going to be very similar to the first one, where we just need to get our first SP2, get that Fade Seal up, and then we're not going to have to worry about it for the rest of the fight. We did have to, there, I don't know why I didn't counter. I should have just countered, and there we eat a heavy for no reason. So now we're back to our L2. We did manage to save our hexes and not let them expire on their own. We should only need to get to 1 more special 2, but unfortunately she does throw the SP1 into my block, so we do not have invisibility for this SP2, but I think we just detonate right here. No, we're going to medium into Striker. That is actually smart, because that cannot be evaded. The Striker stun does not count as a stun, so you do not get the reflection damage back from the node, which is also why we weren't parrying there. But now we're going to go into the other scary fight, Korg. Korg on this node should be really easy. Korg is a good matchup for Hood. I do the matchup in Battlegrounds all the time because you can use your invisibility to get assisted light intercepts to remove all of his rock charges before you ever have to use a medium. And then Hood shuts down all the other nodes. The reason we're going to get in trouble this fight is because I'm going to get pushed to special 3 when I should be at special 2. So we're going to start off the fight correctly. The start of this fight is actually beautiful. We're going to do our 4-hit combos because the first one's an intercept. It's going to remove 2 charges. And now here we're able to start our cycle. I don't remember how early it is that we get pushed to... Oh, yeah. That special really messed us up because it allowed... It means I don't have any power steal for that L2. If he had just not thrown that, it would have been way better. But here we have to go for another 4 light combo. I think we are going to, yeah, save it. But now we have no control. Oh, no, wait. It's right here. It's right here. I'm going to get pushed. Yeah, look, okay, I forgot about the rich get richer. That was the problem. So I looked at my power bar when I had, when I was activating invisibility, and I had 2.5 bars. Unfortunately, because I had a dex buff on me, even before I got the invisibility, I was the one gaining power because he had no buffs. So here now no one's gaining buffs. We are going to take the rock field damage on purpose so that we can try to control the fight a little. But I think, yeah, right here, what am I doing? Waiting for him to dash at me. And we get a power steal on our first medium, and I wasn't anticipating it, so we get pushed to the special 3 again. And, like, yeah, the special 3 itself does good damage, and if I'm able to, pause the fight. Oh, he threw the special 3. If right out of that special 3, I'd been able to detonate my hexes, he would have just died. Like, he would have been dead. But now he's throwing his special 3. We're trapped in the corner. He is unblockable, unstoppable, and has the evade. How am I going to survive this fight? An absolute miracle. That is how I'm going to survive. I'm going to get hit enough times to get pushed to his special 2, and then that special 2 is gonna nullify the buffs on him. Which is just such a silly way to save a fight. I literally just sat in the corner, took 12 consecutive hits to the face to push me to a special 2 to save the fight. And that is absolute insanity, because that fight should have been easy. Had I not been pushed to a special 3 the first time, he would have been dead in under a minute. But because I was, we'll just use the word fun. That became a very fun fight. So here we are going up to Hyperion on node 41. This is the Power Focus 2 unblockable root node, where you get rooted every 6 seconds unless you hit them. And then every 10th hit into your block is unblockable. So yeah, we did have to use quite a few potions in this war, which was unfortunate, but we didn't die. We didn't die. We're okay. Anyways, Hyperion here. We have an L1 boost going, an SP1 start boost going. And that fight, or sorry, that boost is going to last us this fight and the next 2 fights, which is perfect. Like all the remaining fights we have in this war. Hyperion, Hood hard counters him. And when I say hard counter, I mean like hard counter. Controlling his power and preventing power gains shuts off literally everything Hyperion does. Literally everything. And this man is just going to take an absolute beating before dropping here in 30 seconds. So, yeah. Hood just nuked that mini in 32 seconds. Absolute insanity. Next fight here, and I was actually really happy with how this fight went. This was probably maybe not my cleanest fight of the war, but it felt really good doing this fight. This is going to be rank 3 Maestro on node 45, which is Cold Snap and something else. I forget what the other hazard shift is. But we're going to start off the fight knocking down with a heavy attack. That is just to pause his charges, and now we need to get to our special 2. So now that we've thrown our special 2, we have lowered the chance of hazard shift triggering, which basically just means this fight's going to be a choke now. We are going to nuke. Hood versus Maestro is a really good matchup, because as long as you can kill before he gets to his 40 charges, he is never going to glance you unless you're just playing the fight totally wrong and you let him get buffs, and then you would have to play it really badly, is my point, for him to ever get a glancing before he reaches 40 charges and gets the passive. So that fight went well. We have 1 fight remaining here. It's going to be this Black Panther Civil War on node 47. And this is also going to be a pretty straightforward matchup. Hood versus Black Panther Civil War. There's no weird matchups going on. It's a matchup I've already done this season. I think I did it on node 39. Yeah, the one I took Korg on this war. I took Black Panther Civil War on that node previously with Hood. But Hood's going to shut down all of the nodes. And I'm not exaggerating when I say all of the nodes. There's going to be no miss in this fight. There's going to be no Furies. There's going to be no Unstoppable. This dude's just going to get destroyed. And here, unfortunately, we land 4 medium attacks and get no power seals, which is amazing. So here we're just going to get our invisibility back and go for our L2 cycle some more. He does have some pretty high natural armor rating, so our basics aren't doing that much damage. The large majority of our damage in this fight is going to come from the hexes, and I think we are almost ready to detonate. I think we're probably going to bait out the special 2 and then heavy counter it. No, okay, that's fine. And he's just back to a special 2 because get back to our invisibility, because then we can just detonate off that and get the attack increase. But no, we go for another special 2. Okay, that one was definitely overkill, because he has 40% health left at this 37% health left, and yeah, that was overkill. We could have thrown at least 1, maybe 2 less special 2s, but still happy with how it went. So that is going to be it for my war. Unfortunately, we did lose this war. I don't know what the final score was, but I think we lost by like 4 deaths, something like that. I don't know. I haven't looked in a while, but at this point, the war is almost over, and we probably cleared all 150 fights. I just genuinely don't know what the score is right now. The last I checked, it was 15-13. Like, we had 15 deaths and they had already cleared 150 fights, so we knew we lost. So we're now going to be 3-3 on the season. I still have 0 deaths. My PSR is going to be 79 out of 79 fights soloed, or 100%. My main is going to be at 35 out of 35, and my alt is going to be at 44 out of 44 for the season. My total deathless streak is at 154 fights soloed. 154 deathless streak, and then my main account is at 69, and my alt is at 90. So streak's getting pretty high there. Also, if you were wondering how we treat timeouts for stats, I only track deaths. I don't track timeouts, and I do not count them as deaths. The only thing I count as deaths are deaths. I don't count disconnects, and I don't count timeouts towards against the player. This is the way I've done it for a long time, and I understand if you do it differently for your system, and I understand the game counts it as an attack bonus lost. I don't for my stats, so please respect that. However, because I'm not going to just count it as a solo, because obviously I timed out for the fight, I have chosen to exclude it from my season stats, which basically means instead of receiving credit for 6 soloed fights on my main account this war, we're going to count it as 5 out of 5. And we're just going to ignore the timeout fight and act as if it didn't happen. Again, it's not the biggest deal. Like, it's just the way that I consider my stats. And when I was running stats for alliances back in the day, I would keep track of everyone's stats in the whole alliance for a season. I would never punish a player for a timeout or a disconnect. So, yeah, that's the way I do it. If you disagree, completely valid. And I think the alliance is going to be counting it as a death because what they track is attack bonus and not specifically deaths. And I told them, yeah, that's fine. Like, I understand why you're doing that. I'm just going to do it differently, and we're allowed to respect the differences in each other's systems. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. Unfortunately, we lost this war. This one would have been a really nice war to win, but we'll get back. We're still 3-3, so we're still having a decent start to the season, but we definitely need to turn it up a little bit in the back half if we want to land in Masters. So that is going to be it for today. Have a great day, everyone. I will see you later. Bye.